Hello, 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 and welcome back to LaserBeam Live. This is episode number 23, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, or don't. But we have been doing this for quite a while. You know the drill. My name is Ikenna for CNC Labs, and this is the LaserBeam Live show. Whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, or night, I appreciate you spending a little bit of your time with me messing around with the laser, doing some design stuff, just having a little bit of fun. Jack in the shop, our resident laser demon, always here. Bill, thank you for joining. And Nicholas, you guys are the early birds. I appreciate you all. Even if you're not commenting or typing in the chat, if you're just watching, or if you're watching this back later, I still appreciate you. It's all love. It's all appreciation. Guys, how you been? This felt way longer than 2 weeks, guys. I don't know. Usually it feels just about 2 weeks, but this time, this felt like I haven't streamed in such a long time. But it's only been 14 days, 13 days. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. What are we doing today? It's going to be a little chill. It's going to be a very chill stream, We're going to be designing a little bit, We want to be able to use the laser beam with the Vortex. Guys, the Vortex shipping is coming quickly. So we want to be able to use that with the Vortex. And we had a prototype design. We used it in one of our, the one where we played with the Vortex the day of the launch, or the pre-order launch. And it worked well. But what about the people with the side mount? You can always move your router over to be center, but it's a little bit easier if we create a little bracket, so that you can put this on the side and shift over your laser just a little bit like that. So imagine this is the side mount. Now, instead of being aligned here, you're going to be aligned here out in the front. This would be the front of the router mount, and you get that extra, get that extra distance there. And it's just easier to align things, right? If you're in line with the router, then you have to really raise your router. And obviously, we recommend you raising the router when you're using the laser beam. Don't worry, we're going to work on resources before you guys get your vortexes so that you can use it with the laser beam. But we want to make this just a little bit easier. And for those of you who have a side mount router but never liked the orientation of that, but didn't feel like buying a whole new router mount, this will also fix that problem. It won't put it center front, but it will put it front to the side, right? So today, my goal is essentially to simplify this mount right here, and then also add this mount as just a version 1 or a version 3 of this this design here, and then we'll get some samples made up of some steel, and yeah, if it looks good, then we'll order a batch, and we'll put that out for order, and we'll make sure that it ships with your Vortex if you want it, or it'll ship separate. Either way, you will get it. So that's what we're doing today. It's pretty simple. And if we finish the design aspect, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So if we finish the design aspect today, then I have some 3mm black acrylic, and we will throw that on the laser, and we will do some cutting with it, right? The laser can cut only opaque acrylic, and black is just the best because it absorbs all the heat coming from the laser. And yeah, so it's very easy to cut, a couple of passes at 100%, maybe 3mm per second, and we are good. It's 3mm thick, it's not too crazy. And hopefully we'll have a brand new mount. The other engineers can take a look and they can add their design changes and making it better. And yeah, so before we start the design process, I have some news. I will be designing the magnetic mount. Yes, yay, yay, yes. I know, you guys have been waiting a long time. Some of you guys just leave your laser on, but then when you're using the router, the particulate from the router is getting all gucked up in the laser, and it's gonna eventually lower the lifespan of your laser. Just like all electronics, particulate is not great for any electronic, let alone a high power diode laser. So I know you guys will just wanna slap it on and slap it off. This is going to be a two-parter, right? So we have the magnetic mount, and then after that, we will have a quick connect, okay? All your connectors in one, okay? And we're going to try to make it as convenient as possible. So removing your laser should be a 15-second process. Pop it off, unplug. 15 seconds, 5 seconds, pop, connect. Boom, your laser's off. Put it back on, bang, boom, bing bong. Your laser's off, your laser's on. Super simple. That is the next add-on. Guys, after that, we might do ventilation system with an inline fan and a custom and a specially designed kind of dust shoe hose, right? Because we already have the dust shoe mount. We already have that whole supply chain figured out, the design. It's amazing. Our dust shoe, the brand new, the most updated dust shoe is just beautiful, right? Magnetic mounting, little clip off, pop it off. We're gonna take that, we're gonna turn that into a fume extraction system for your laser. It'll run via some collapsible ducting to an inline fan. And we'll sell the ducting, we'll sell the inline fan, and we'll sell the hose and the bracket. Just in case you don't have a dust shoe bracket, then we'll sell that bracket. And if you do have the dust shoe bracket, then you don't really need it. And then we'll sell that all as a kit. It'll be a nice little quick fume extraction system. Duct it out to a window, put the inline fan at a window, and duct it right to your hose and exhaust all that smoke, so you don't have to deal with any of the particulate. Obviously, it's not going to be 100%. It's not an enclosed system. Even most enclosed systems aren't 100% in terms of fume extraction and smell and things like that. But this will be a lot better, especially if you're not well ventilated. And we recommend that you only use the laser and the router in a well ventilated space. But some of you people are a little bit, you guys are playing it fast and loose. And we just want to be able to provide you with the add-ons that you want, so that you have a better experience using the long mill and a better experience using the LaserBeam. So that is the announcement. Okay, I'm going to be working on a bunch of add-ons over the next few months. First being the bracket, so you can more easily use this. No, not you. I'm not talking to you guys. You guys are laser professionals, okay? You guys are in the chat. You guys are reading. Sometimes you remind me to be safe. Sometimes I almost forget to put on my glass. Sometimes you guys are the ones reminding me. So definitely not talking about you. No. Never that. So that's the plan. We're going to do a little bit of design today. If we have time, we're going to cut it out. If we don't have time, we'll do it next week. We'll cut out this bracket, and we will use that as an opportunity to go through the basics of cutting with your laser, because I know I get the emails. Guys. Your settings aren't locked in, your focus isn't locked in, and you're having trouble cutting even 3mm birch plywood, okay? You should not be having trouble with that. 4, 5 passes max with some Z step downs and some air assist action, you should be cutting through that stuff, okay? I'm not talking about super intricate designs, you're not cutting out a Basquiat or a Picasso outline, okay? But some simple shapes, you guys should be cutting that at a 3mm opaque acrylic, or even just some non-dense plywood. Obviously, if you're trying to cut hardwood, that is gonna, come on guys, it's all about density. It's all about density. The denser the wood, the smaller the thickness needs to be for you to be able to cut it out without doing an obscene amount of passes. Obviously, if we have all the time in the world, we can lower the power so it doesn't scorch the wood, and we can do 20 passes if we need to, but who has that time? I definitely don't, and I assume most of you people out there don't. So guys, we'll dial in some of those settings for cutting, and it'll kind of be an introduction to cutting the material with a laser. So that's the plan. Moving forward, we're going to release this little Vortex-Laser Mount bracket, and we're going to release a magnetic mount and a quick connect system. That is the order. Obviously, we want to get this out by the time that the Vortex is shipping, and that time is approaching very, 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 very soon. So that is my first priority. Second priority, magnetic mount. Yes, it's only been 2.5 years since we started shipping, and we are finally getting around to a magnetic mount. And then we'll play with maybe some auto focusing, maybe some auto height, like it ranges right, like a little sensor that you just type in G2. All of a sudden your laser goes to the exact height it needs to be. Just throwing that out there. But we're going to start with the basics. Vortex-Laser Mount, magnetic mount, ventilation system. How happy will you guys be with that available? So happy, I assume, and I hope, but let's get started. So I got, guys, can we just celebrate this? I opened up Lightburn and everything is still aligned. That was the key, guys. Scaling this to the exact size of our work material. So anytime, as long as I don't move the webcam, anytime I open this up, it knows exactly where the edges of my workspace. And guys, if you guys remember the last stream, we were so giddy about getting this to successfully work, because now every time I come here, and as long as I don't move the webcam, we're good. We're all good. This is ready to go already. I can just throw the acrylic up there. I don't got to move the material or anything, focus the laser, and we are good to go. We're going to start designing. But we're not going to start with Lightburn because we need something to actually cut. And what we're going to be doing here is Fusion. So Fusion 360, you know me. I design in Fusion. I'm not the greatest designer, but I know how to make things work. And today we have the most updated router mount design you can see here. And we have the outline of our updated, our most recent LaserBeam mount, this one right here. You guys see it? How did you figure out that ratio? Figure that ratio. Yes, just watch the last video. Please watch the last video. We took the size that they told you. They'll tell you the size of that marking. It's like 200 millimeters or something. And then all I did was extend that in the scaling to the size of our work material. So our available work material was about, I think in the y-axis, it was about 350, 400 millimeters. And the actual image before any scaling was, I think, 200 millimeters. So the scaling factor ended up being like, when I did the math, the scaling factor was like 1.73, but in actuality, like it worked perfectly at 1.7, right? So that's what I ended up doing, 1.7, and now every time I come back, as long as I don't move the webcam, it is perfectly aligned and we are ready to go, which is just a great feature. So if you guys forgot how I did that, go watch the last two streams. The first stream I did like one part of the calibration, but then the second part failed. The last stream, I finished the calibration, fixed my mistakes, tested everything, and it was bueno. And we came back today, and it's still working. So that is great to see. So guys, I have an outline of my laser mount, and I have an outline, and I have the actual 3D model of my router mount. I already projected the main 4 holes we will be used for mounting, because these 4 holes never changed. Okay, we had 3 versions of this, but those 4 holes, 1, 2, 3, 4, they never changed. Dana, thank you for joining us. You are the absolute best. We appreciate your company in the chat. So guys, so I already projected these 4 holes so I can, remove that mount, but just know where those 4 holes are coming from. And then these 2 holes is essentially our mount. It's the same distance on the side of the router that it is on the front. So if I wanted to create a very simple mount, it would essentially, I would add a bit of distance on the top. Yeah, if you guys made anything cool, let me know. Send some pictures in. We're updating our LaserBeam resources and our LaserBeam product page. So if you have some cool projects, maybe you'll make it on. If you guys check it out, you probably notice that we've did a little update. So I want to find out the total length. So that's the bottom of the mount, and then, this is where the top of the hole is, but I'm not going to end the mount right there. That would be weird. We want to give it a little bit of distance there, so that's about 66 millimeters. So we'll go about 72 millimeters right there. So same thing. This way, I want to add a little bit of clearance, like to be aligned with the edge of the circle would probably put us like, somewhere around there, which is 12 millimeters. We want to give it a little bit of distance there. So I'm going to say 16 millimeters. And then let me lock that in. And then we kind of want to do the same exact thing on this side. 16. And then we want to connect it. So this is the edges right here. I already made this before the stream. And I'm just going to push that out about 4 millimeters this way. I'm going to push this out about 4 millimeters this way. And then I'm going to connect everything, and then I'm going to round the edges. So bing, bang, boom. A little connection over here, connection over here. And then let's fillet? I don't know. You tell me. How do you pronounce it? And I'm just going to add that feature right there. Oh, there we go. And it's about 4 millimeters. I like that. Let's hold shift and let's do the other side. And then let's hold shift and let's do this down here. And then let's hold shift and let's do this down here. Very beautiful. What a beautiful mount, guys. Can I get a round of applause for my mount creation skills? I don't hear any applause, guys, and it's kind of hurting my feelings. Okay, so on one side, we want to add this thing, which will allow people with this. There we go. Thank you, Jack. I like validation, guys. If you haven't noticed, I love validation, and I appreciate you for giving it to me. So we have this side mount like this. There we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you all. John, thank you very much. So yes, so this is exactly what I'm adding to this. This was a very easy mount. It's essentially what this is, we could clean this up. We can make it smoother, cooler. This is probably like just about pretty close to the actual specs here. One thing we do want to say, I will probably end up like copying this exact design because it actually does make the space for all the different hardware, and then we'll test this on the different mounts, so make sure that everything aligns. So I will be adding like more detail here, so I'll probably have to raise it up a little bit. You can see the distance here, like here to here, and then adding this. So, but I'm just like, I just want to design this from scratch just so we can like quickly put this through and we can go through a little bit of design here. Because if you guys were making like a DXF and then importing that into Lightburn, this is the exact process that you would be doing or you would be using on your end. So I could just like all right, might as well just, let's see if I'll break my design by doing this. If I add the dimensions, if I dimension this out, yeah, it's too driven. Okay. I'll fix this later, but let's add a little bit of, let's fix this side right here. 4 millimeters. Okay, there we go. So essentially we want to add the spacing of this, these holes in the spacing. And the actual hole will have to be bigger than this, obviously, because we don't want to make it the exact same. But I will just, align this to the center and then bring that all the way down because that will need to get cut out, essentially. So we already have it on this side, and then we'll do it on this side. So center of the circle here, and then bring that down here. Very, very cute. Very, very cool. And what do we need now? So what is the distance between here and the end of the bracket? It's about 4 millimeters. Probably want it a little higher on the top end. So what I'm going to do is make a little reference line here. Because this is going to be made out of steel, it doesn't really have to be that thick, if I'm being honest, but, we'll make it symmetrical now. So we'll do 4. And then we'll essentially create a line from this side all the way here, and we'll bring it out. Essentially, we want to bring it out probably like about this much. So what do you think that is? Guys, let's guesstimate. This is about 70 millimeters long. So this would be about, let's say 60. So the end of the bracket is about 50. And then we want to bring it out an additional 60 off the end of the bracket. So let's say about 110 millimeters total length. So maybe we will keep maybe I'll end up keeping the mount separate and it'll come in a kit of 2. Just because the people with the front mount don't need this extra leg on the side, right? They would just need this. And the people with the side mount don't really need this part, this little opening bracket here. They just need kind of this. But I do like using these 4 mounts because it adds that stability. And so maybe it's like this version and then there's like a clean version. Or if this, adding this extra leg on the side, if that doesn't obstruct too much, then we'll keep it and it'll just be 1 bracket. But you know, these are all decisions that will need to be made when we start making a couple prototypes and all that fun stuff. So essentially we could make this bracket like this. This is pretty good. We'd have to make these holes the size of the opening for the larger router mount, or for the newer router mount, because the holes do protrude. Let me actually, no, I have one right here for reference. So these holes do stick out. So we will need to measure this. They're M5 socket head caps. So maybe we can make about 10, but then we'd probably want to increase this height right here. So, sorry, this bug is very much bothering me, but I'm going to try to ignore it for you guys. So this is what happens when you like under-construe or you over-construe things or all that fun stuff. So I'm just going to start getting rid of some of this detail here so that I can start making changes to everything. This was 110. And I'm just going to go back into our design here just so I can make a few changes now that I kind of have a better idea of what I want here. Let's get rid of that curving of the edges. Boop, boop, boo. There we go. And we know that's 16 over here, 16 over here, and we want to raise this, right? Want to raise this pretty much to the length of this, which would be 70 starting like there. So I'm just going to start this line again and call it 75 because we have the added length at the bottom there. So let's go 75. That'll take us to the top of the mount essentially. That'll take us to the top here. And then we can make the cutouts here all the way down. So I will reveal that. So let's actually go a little bit higher than that. Let's go 80. There we go. And then I don't think we need to go to 16. Let's go to like 14. And on this side, let's go to 14. And then I do want to increase the length here because let's say the caps of the socket head cap screw on the newer router mounts are like 8 millimeters. I don't have calipers with me right now, but I'm going to guess like 10. So we probably want to make the width of that, let's say, 15 millimeters, let's say, just as a guess. So if the width of this, and that's supposed to be half, then I want that to be 7.5. Oh, it's over constrained. Yep, so let me delete that. And then I can change that to 7.5. Change that to 7.5. And then now I have the bottom of my mount here. And then we need to connect this to like down here roughly, right? So we probably need another like 5 millimeters on that end. So let me add a little something, something. Let's go with 5. Let's see how far that is. Let's make sure we don't clip anything and no holes. We have some good spacing there, and we have some good spacing here. So 5 was enough. Let's go 5 on the other side. And then let's connect that right there. Okay, that looks much better. And we have the router mount DXF in the background, giving us more guidelines. And then I'm gonna project this so that I can make the cutout. And I'm gonna project this bottom one so I can make a cutout using those. So now I can get rid of this again. And I'm gonna make the circle a little bit bigger than this. So we have some distance. This is 3.5. So we can make it 4.5. And then we can make this down here 4.5. And then we can just connect the midpoints, and then we have our cutout here. So midpoint here to midpoint there, midpoint here to midpoint there. All right. So there's our cutout there. So that will work. We'll have some good spacing there. Obviously, we don't want this hole to be the exact size of the threading. So we're going to increase that hole by a little bit. It is currently 4.2, so we'll go to 5 millimeters, add some spacing there. And then we will do the same thing on this end and go to about 5 millimeters on this end. So now we'll have no problem screwing our M512s to mount, to make sure this is mounted correctly. And then we need to do the extension again. So we did 7.5 from the bottom. So we'll do 7.5 from the top. And then again, we can make that line across, which I think we chose 110. So 110. See, and now that's looking like we have enough space there. So let's connect up this little rectangle we got going on. There we go. And now I just want this measurement right here between this center hole and this center hole, and that is 40 millimeters. So that hole is 40 millimeters, and we want about 5 millimeter holes. So we also do need these holes, let's say 10, so they have enough spacing for the socket head, the heads of the socket head cap screws that hold your router mount together. So let's just put 10 millimeter holes there just in case the hardware type changes. And then if you flip it, it'll be good on the other end as well. This is all symmetrical, so that's going to be okay. Kenny Sweat? I'm sorry if I butchered that. 3D HP, sorry, I haven't looked at the chat in a little bit. You guys are chatting. You guys are chatting away. Jerry is printing some cool stuff. He's printing some hue form prints off printables on the X1 Carbon color layered pics. That is really cool. Really cool. Hue Forge. That's really cool. You guys are up to all sorts of cool projects. Jack has got some cool projects, some 3x5 signs out of metal. It's time to start tiling. That's very cool. Dana just made a logo sign, 36x24 for a local business on the MK1 with the extension kit. That is so cool, guys. You guys are really putting the product to its paces and using it to its full potential. Yes, we got some love from Kenny for the MK2 48x30. Guys, the possibilities are endless with that amount of size. So we got our hole spacing for the socket head of our I believe it on the new MK2 and the new router mounts, they're M525s or M512s, but they do have a socket head. So we need to go larger than the threading holes. And then we need enough space here. So we might have to make this a bit longer, but let's just start here, and I'll put a hole right here. Let me just make sure. Actually, I know what the center is. It's going to be 7.5, so I can literally just make an arbitrary line, kind of as a guideline here. 7.5. That's going to be center. Guys, this gnat is really bothering me. It's very, very annoying. I'm actually going to slide this over just because I don't think I'll have enough room. And then this hole, we made 5 millimeters. Oops, circle, C for circle, 5 millimeters. And then the distance is 40, so a little spacer here. We need about 40, so yeah, we don't have enough room here, but I'll just make it and then adjust our little extension here. And then we need another 5 here. There we go, and then I'll get rid of this line, and I'll get rid of this line. Very cool. Congratulations, Kenny. He's registering his company. He's going to be selling so many things. We appreciate the support, and we appreciate you pushing the industry further by making stuff for other people or whatever the business does. Nonetheless, if you're using the long mill, we support you. That's great work. So I'm going to extend this to maybe 150. Let's see. Oh, that's a little bit too long. We don't need it that long. Let's go 125. That seems pretty good. We could probably get away with 120. I believe we do have a company registry on our website. I'm not sure if that's still running, but if we keep it up to date, definitely reach out and you can, or click on that page on our website, and you can get added to the registry of companies that use long mills, which is very cool. So if anybody's trying to kind of stay in our community and hire other people that are also using long mills, like-minded people who support each other, then you can get added to that directory on our website, which is so cool. Congratulations to Kenny. All right, this is exactly what I want. This is what I need, guys. Now we can worry about cleaning things up. So I got a lot of arbitrary lines here, okay? So I can get rid of this. I can get rid of that. I can get rid of that. I can get rid of that. I can cut this, or I can trim this line, and I can trim this, and I can trim this, get rid of that, get rid of that. I don't need these projected holes. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. This. Don't need this projected hole. Don't need this projected hole. I'm gonna make this a little bit, actually no, I'll leave that alone. And yeah, that looks pretty good. It's gonna be easy to extrude, all that fun stuff. So I'm going to clean up some edges now. So now let's get to the, I'm gonna start doing 3 millimeter just because we're using, actually no, I'll go 4. I'll go 4. Got some 4 millimeter fillets? I'm pretty sure fillet has a different spelling. It has to be a fillet. I should know that by now, but you know, it is what it is. Don't judge me. All right, we're all good. There we go. Oh, don't need that. Oh, well, give this a little restart. Bing, bang, boom. All right, so that is my new bracket. So I'm going to extrude this and as its own part. Or actually, I don't need to extrude it. I'm just going to get rid of all these projected lines. I'm going to do some trimming. Make sure that this is like one solid part so I can get rid of this. Or I do want to cut this. There we go. And now this is one solid profile. Oh, got to get rid of this. Let's get rid of this line, this projected line right here. So now this is one solid profile. So now I can just left click and I'm going to finish the sketch and then click on the sketch and then save as a DXF. I'm going to save this. Oh, I'm going to save this as a, let's save this in some LaserBeam folders. LaserBeam Live, and I'll save this as LB-V for Vortex Mount V 1.3. Okay, very complicated naming scheme, but at least I'll remember what it is. I'm going to give this file a save, and then now I can come into Lightburn. I can import a DXF. So let's get this file. Let's get an import going on. The LaserBeam Live. I totally forgot what exactly the name I just saved it as. But it was LB. It was LB. Something, something. Something, 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 something. I hate the way I can't like sort this, or I just don't know how to sort this. Guys, can you guys tell me what I said? Oh, there it is. Perfect. Okay. All right, we got it here. Oh, no, it saved this. All right, I got to do some more cleaning up. Let's undo that. And let's go back to Fusion, and let's do some more line cleanup. Yeah, so this was projected. Got to get rid of that. You can get rid of this projected circle, this inner projected circle, and this line right here. All right, we should be all right. I think that was it. So I'm going to resave that. And I forgot what I saved it as, but I'm going to make it a lot easier. LBV V1.3. LBV, LaserBeam Vortex. All right, save this file. Go back to Lightburn. Under File, we're going to put Import. And we're going to search LBV. Yes, a lot easier to find. There we go. No, we lost, oh, 2 lines. Oh, this projected circle and this projected circle. I could just ungroup. Oh, but I need to trim that so I can keep the bottom of the circle. Okay. And then there's a line in here that we don't want. And then I think that's it. Everything else is fine. Okay. All right, 3rd time's the charm. There was a line in here that we want to get rid of. I know, I should, but I don't like, maybe I'll do a whole thing where I, brush up on my Lightburn line editing. I'm just not that great at it. I'm just much better in Fusion 360. And honestly, it's a more complex program, but most of you guys don't have this, so maybe that'll be a upcoming stream. where we do that. So there's a line, and then there was these two projected circles, or that I had to trim, and then that should be all good. And I think there was a bottom line maybe. Yeah, get rid of that. I'm gonna get rid of this just so I can see everything. So yeah, there's still one more. Okay, if I highlight this, there's no other features that I don't want. Looks good. What is this? I'm gonna get rid of this. There we go. Yeah, Lightburn is the best. I just have so much like more years editing and creating DXFs in Fusion. But hey, I'm willing to give the people what they want, so I can do that for sure. LBV v1.3. It should save over the last file. So we got the same name, easy to search up. Definitely save this entire file here. And we are back in Lightburn. I'm going to undo the import and then re-import. Third time's the charm. Let's get her done. LBV. And this should be the updated one. There we go. That looks beautiful. So guys, because we have this great webcam feature all tuned up, all I have to do is take this piece and slide this on our work material. I'm going to try to do this without messing up the webcam or touching the webcam, because we want that to stay perfectly aligned. All right, just a little bit of finesse was needed. I'm going to line that up to make sure it's in the work area. All right, that looks good. That looks good. I am going to go to the camera control, and I'm going to update the overlay. There we go. So now I can see my material. I'm going to use this top corner so I don't waste too much material here. I'm actually going to leave that like that, so I'm not going to get ultra close to the edges, just in case the calibration is just a little bit off, then it would cut outside of the material. So I'm just going to get pretty close to the edges, but not, not too close. I'm leaving like one square grid of space on either edge, as you can see. I'm going to turn that into the red so I can see it better. And then cuts and layers. Now we dial in our settings. So I'm going to be using 2.5 millimeters per second, or just about 0.1 inch per second for you Imperial users. Make sure air assist is off. Sometimes it can do some funky stuff. This is 3 millimeters, so I'm going to do 4 passes. And I have to enable the Z-axis in order to do the step down. I'm going to enable the Z-axis here. Now when I go back here, I'll have the Z step down. So there's 4 passes, and this is the distance that we want to do per pass. How much is it stepping down? So if the material is 3 millimeters, divide that by 4. That's going to be 0.75 millimeters per pass. So that by the end of the project, as it's moving, as the laser is cutting through it, our laser beam is going to be focused at the bottom of the material, not staying focused at the top of the material. That means each pass is going to be less and less effective unless you use this tool. Okay, so everything looks good here. We got our step down, 4 passes, 2.5 millimeters per second, max power. We are all good to go. I'm going to double check my EEPROM settings, guys. Always make sure your EEPROM settings are good. $30 equals 255, $31 equals 0, $32 equals 1, and that 255 should match your S max value, so that's actually to 1,000, so I should change that 255, guys. This is why we always double check things before we run. We don't want to waste our time. We don't want to waste our efforts. So everything looks good here. Now I can go back to the cut layer, make sure everything looks good here. 2.5 millimeters per second, 4 passes, step down. We are all good here. So if I go to console, you know, and my machine is already homed, I'm gonna show you guys on all 3 cameras here. So my machine is already in the corner, or if you had the limit switches, it would be homed. Coordinates are 0, 0, 0, or I'll set origin point to make sure that LaserBeam knows we're at 0, 0, 0. I'm going to turn on my laser driver, hit that reset button, and I'm going to make sure my dip switch number 5 is selected because I want all the power because I am cutting. I'm going to make sure I have the right distance for my G2. I got my G2 distance finder right here. It is in the range. My lens was focused the last time, so I'm going to assume it was focused this time. And finally, before you ever run a laser job, your eyes are more important than anything. Wear the CNC Labs approved and come stock with every LaserBeam safety glasses. So we got our laser on, light burn is grooving. So we got start from absolute coordinates. So it should start from our home, which we just set our origin point, 0, 0 in the corner. You can see that in the image here. Our laser is like in the corner here. And yeah, so we should be good to go. I'm going to click start and we should have a prototype piece at the end of this. So let's go ahead and press start. It's going to where it needs to go. And we are in the right spot. Oh, I love how easy this is. I just love how easy this is. And because I don't want to have to run this again, as soon as this job is done, I'm going to change the passes to 2, and I'm going to run it again just so it does 2 extra passes, just so that I don't have to deal with any sticky holes or anything like that, because sometimes acrylic can heat up and cool down, and I can cut it out, but then when it cools down or heats up, it could re-stick, and you still have to punch the holes out. And I don't want to deal with that at all. We're coming to the end of the stream. We got about 10 minutes left on this stream. So I want this to be the one and done. So I'll kind of counterintuitive because I'm going to run it again, but only on 2 passes. So that'll be 6 total passes. Yeah. But that's just because I want to ensure. I know, right? Jack, thank you very much. I chose this design specifically, and I made sure we had the branding and everything, and I made sure it fit over most standard glasses. I know some of you guys told me that you guys have these super specific frames of like prescription glasses and they don't fit over, but you know, even if you can get it mostly over, that should be fine. As long as your whole view is covered, don't settle for anything less. I'd rather take off the glasses completely or wear a different pair than actually not have the full view covered, have that orange tint. You should see no regular color other than orange tint. But thank you, Jack. I appreciate the compliment. You know what, Dana, you're a smooth criminal. You are a smooth criminal. You know, I'm glad you guys listen. I appreciate the validation. Keep it coming. And whenever you guys feel like it, let it fly, you know. It's natural. We're all secure here. I appreciate it. Guys, this is why we will eventually release a ventilation kit, because acrylic, leather, and a bunch of other materials, they smell horrible when you laser cut them. Whether it's with a CO2 laser, a fiber laser, or a diode laser. So certain materials just smell horrible when you laser them. You guys are too sweet. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Doug. You guys have my heart. I appreciate you. You guys are the best. You guys are more than I deserve. Yeah, depending on the wavelength of the CO2, sometimes you don't need glasses, or depending on the tint of the viewing glass of a CO2, sometimes you don't need glasses. Yes, please don't laser fish. I feel like I would pass out from the smell if I lasered some fish. Is there such thing as fish leather? Guys, I need to know, is there such thing as fish leather? Because you can engrave any natural leather, no synthetic leather. You don't know what the chemicals and how they're going to react with the heat. But natural leather, you can laser engrave. So is there such thing as fish leather? Because if there is, you know, send some to our company address and I might laser some. You know, I'll do that for you guys because I appreciate you guys. All right, we have about 13 minutes left. I'm gonna go grab an Allen key because if all things go well, I'm gonna remove this and I'm gonna put the new mount on and then we'll make sure that everything is working as I think it should. Sea leather, that is amazing. Okay, guys, if you guys feel like sending some sea leather to us, maybe I'll feel like purchasing some. I'll do that for you guys. I'll be right back. Just gonna grab an M3 or an M2.5 Allen key so I can remove the old bracket that we made. But you guys can still hear my amazing late night radio voice while I'm searching for the right key. And I believe I found it. So we got about 12 minutes left. I'm gonna remove this. So guys, this is all you would be doing if you had the regular mount. You just remove these 4 M3 screws. These 4 right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you'd slap on the acrylic mount. There are other screws, so don't worry, your mount is not gonna fall off while you're installing the additional mount. One thing I did forget to design is the cut-through holes, right? Because if you have it on the front, you don't wanna have to remove the entire screw. So this just slides down on it. So that's one thing I'll have to add for next time or for the next little quick prototype. We won't have enough time today, but maybe we'll do it next time, or maybe I'll have it done by next time. Might even have some steel prototypes for the next stream. But I'll definitely start working on the magnetic mount design on stream next time, or I might just come and show you guys what I have so far in terms of a prototype. It shouldn't be too difficult of a project. It's just that I want to make sure that it works with all of our existing mounts and our different versions of the mount, and even this one that I'm designing right now, this new one will have to work. So that's all you need to do at first. Remove these 4, and then we're going to slap on the new one. Greetings from, what does that say? I'm sorry, there's like an icon covering it up. Let me see if I can scroll. Greetings from Whittier, California, or Whittier, Canada. I'm not sure which one that is. Rebecca, I appreciate it. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Thanks for joining. Thanks for participating in the chat. I really do appreciate it. Could you show your camera mount next time? Yeah, sure. At the end of this stream, I'll take the camera off and I'll show you the mount and how it's set up and everything. All right, we're cutting out the outline of it. Yeah, guys, I'll show you how the cameras mount. Don't worry. Ooh, just smelling that horrible acrylic. Absolutely disgusting. Guys, if you're just joining us, essentially we did some 3D modeling. Essentially we did some 3D modeling here. We made this, we combined these 2 mounts for the Vortex laser so that you can use the Vortex with the laser easier. It props the laser up. Instead of mounting down here, it mounts up here so that you get more space because the Vortex itself sits pretty high, and then once you add a material in there that you want it to laser, you need that difference so that you can use all the different lenses and you have like enough height, right? So Johan, part of the Vortex team, main product developer of the Vortex, he created both of these designs with a little bit of inspiration from me. And so now I'm taking his designs and I'm combining these two. So whether you have a side mount, this will also raise your laser, or whether you have a front mount, this will raise your laser. And if you have a side mount, this will also push your laser forward, right? So if the router is sitting right here, right, this will push your laser forward. So if you didn't like the orientation of your side mount, now you have a little bracket that can change that a little bit. Or you can always just get the new updated router mount, which puts the accessory mounting at the front, and then you're essentially just using this main part of the mount to just slide it in. So I did forget to add these little holes here, but we can do that next time, or I'll do that on the prototype that we send in to get made out of steel, and then hopefully I'll have a steel mount to show you guys, and then we'll start making the product page and order a little bit of a batch of 100 or 200 because we have batches of 300 for the Vortex, and I assume not every Vortex user has a laser beam, so I think 200 should be enough. But if we sell that out really quickly, we'll obviously just put in an order for more, and you guys won't be waiting too long. So as you can see, the laser's moving really slow. I set the speed at like 2.5 millimeters per second and 4 passes. So I believe this is the last pass. And then I'm just gonna do 1 or 2 more passes after, just to ensure that the entire thing cut through, and then we should have our mount. Yes, that is a fact, Doug. We love giving appreciation to the people who make a difference in our community, and that is an absolute fact. That's why I call Jack the laser demon. And Dana, you know how much we appreciate you over here at CNC Labs. You make great resources, you share great projects, and yeah, Dana, Jack, you guys are the absolute unsung heroes of the chat. You guys are always answering questions. You guys are always interested in what other people are doing. You guys are always ready to support, and you guys are always sharing interesting information, whether it's personal or CNC laser stuff. Just know that myself, the company, and the entire LaserBeam chat and fans do appreciate your interactions and your efforts. All right, we are almost done. That's awesome. So we have about 6 minutes left. So maybe there's one more pass still. And then we should be good. So guys, I just need to run to the bathroom because I've been drinking this bubbly, sparkling water all stream. So I'm gonna run to the bathroom. Don't worry, I'm leaving the mic here so you don't have to listen to me. And I will be back in a second, and hopefully our cut will be done by then. Entertain yourself for a minute. And I'm back. I did keep the glasses on, Nicholas. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I should have made it a full laser view. Maybe I'll add a third webcam so that it's not the top-down view, but you guys can see a third angle or, well, more useful angle of like a corner view. Yeah, Rebecca, definitely check out the laser videos that Dana made. Definitely check out some of the previous streams that I did. And definitely check out the 3-part laser series that Scott did on our CNC Labs channel, our YouTube channel. Nicholas, I know. I was quick, and we do have fire suppression systems all around the office, and it's well ventilated. So I did have to take the risk of quickly going to use the bathroom. But do not do that when you're with me. Ask a buddy, give him a pair of glasses to watch it over. Or I could have popped the stream up on my phone and then went to the bathroom and watched it to make sure that there was no issues. But yeah, guys, I'll add another webcam. I'll keep this one for my light burn setup, and then I'll add another webcam so you guys can better see the laser move, because I know the top-down view might not be so interesting. That's fair enough. I understand. You know me. Usually I barely take bathroom breaks during the stream. I'm barely drinking sparkling water during the stream as well. So, this is a rarity. Hopefully it doesn't happen too often. We should be good. It looks pretty good. It does look like it's cutting out. Certain parts of the mount are lifting. So it does look pretty cut out. So I might even trust the 4 passes. I might just leave it to do 4 passes, and then, if I have to punch out a hole or 2 with the Allen key, I don't mind that. We got about 50 seconds left. We're coming up in an hour and 4 minutes on the stream. Yeah, hopefully, as well as we are working on revamping the laser resources, adding more key documents for a lot of the issues that you guys found using it in like the real world setting, and more often than I even use the laser. We found a lot of more key helpful things. We might even be making like we'll give you sizes so that you guys know how far to twist the focus ring for focus, so you guys don't have to do it by eye anymore, right? So as long as you're at if you use this to set your height, we'll give you a height or a distance so that you just slide something in between your lens and your heat sink, and then you just twist it up, and then the moment you hit this, that's when it's focused, and then you just remove this, and you're in focus. So there's a little less guessing. So our project is complete. I do believe it looks like it cut all the way through, but I won't know till I pop it out. Oh yes, beautiful. 4 passes. Let's see. Let's make sure everything got popped out here. Yeah, there we go. Let's go to our main camera. I'm gonna remove my glasses now. I'm gonna turn off my laser driver. Guys, 4 passes with the step down, 2.5 millimeters per second, and we are good. So this is what I was talking about. You can see like parts of the acrylic did melt. So I probably could have ran it a little bit faster to avoid that. So it like cut out, but then because of the excess heat, this little thing did melt a little bit. But as you can see, this is what we designed. We essentially added these 2 brackets together. We did that in Fusion 360. We downloaded it as a DXF, and then we cut it out. So now with the laser, I should be able to align this. No, guys, this was we should have made this bigger. That's the issue. This needed to be bigger, this hole, this little slot. because the socket head was bigger than the dimensions that I gave it. But it should be able to still sit. So I'm going to go ahead and thread it anyways, and it can sit on top of the socket heads just for demonstration purposes. It's not a huge deal. It'll still work. But that's why we design and we test, and we try and we try again, and that's the ethos of CNCing. That's the ethos of DIY. That's the ethos of our company, CNC Labs. So I know you guys understand. Bing, bang, boom. And now we have a little mount. So essentially, it would stand like this. If you guys could see that. So now your laser's at the front for the vortex. And if you have the side mount, then it would work like this. So now it sits in the front. It's offset. And now it's easier to use for the vortex. So I'm going to make the few changes that I want to make. I'm going to get this manufactured in steel so that I can show you a steel version of this, and then we will get an order page on CNC Lab's website so that you guys, if you've already ordered a vortex or you just like the mount, you like the height, the raising, you like anything about this mount, what it can do for your setup, then you will be able to purchase that, and it will ship pretty quickly. So I'm very proud of this. We were able to do this in an hour session. We got something real. We made something real. I love the webcam setup. It was so easy. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Yeah, so try not to disturb it. And Rebecca, you can double stack the springs, guys. So we had 2 springs per size, and you can either interlock them to make a more rigid spring, or you can stack them on top of each other to add even more pressure, downwards pressure into the lens to ensure that it doesn't move if you slightly tap it or if your machine is going too fast. That's what the springs are for, and you can use both springs at the same time, either stacked on top of each other, or you can interlock them to create a stiffer spring, which will have more force pushing down on the focus ring. So yeah, thanks for bringing that to our attention, Rebecca. Have a great night, Dana. We appreciate everything you do. Everybody here, you know the deal, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, or night. I appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me, playing with the laser, doing some design stuff. My name is Ikenna Ofoha for CNC Labs. This is LaserBeam Live, episode number 23, I think. Guys, this will save. So if you ever miss this, just go to the live tab of our YouTube channel. You'll be able to watch any of our live streams back again whenever you want to. We appreciate you. Kenny, Jack, Rebecca, Doug, Dana, just about everybody who participated or is watching. We appreciate you. I appreciate you. Have a great night.